Good day all, another Monday. Surprise, surprise, back on the Defender. Let me show you where I am at the moment. Right, the dashboard is screwed in at the top. I've got 3 screws in and I've fitted the Defender dash top. Obviously I'll need to finish the ends, but that's all got to be done anyway. But I thought that just might make it look a bit more, not original, but you know, from the outside it will just look like a Defender dash top, because it is. My plan to have the air ride bits here to the right of the steering wheel, I don't think is going to work, because I've got obviously 4 switches and 3 gauges. 1 gauge for front suspension, 1 gauge for rear suspension, and 1 gauge for the tank. Now the tank I could put in a different position. That's not a problem, but I kind of wanted to keep it all together. So what I might do, I'm now going to clear out the interior and sit here and try and plan it out. I might put them this side, sort of here, because at the minute I'm not sure about this point here. It depends about the whole steering column, how much of it I've got to take out. So this might have to be redone. But I thought if I have it on this side, I should have a bit of room. But I've got to offer it up. I've got a washer, like a 50mm washer, that I can work out where the gauges go. I'll probably end up having the iPad here. Again, with the dash top, it kind of restricts the height. Obviously, as a whole original, the iPad went there. I mean, I could still do that. Leave with this dash top, put the iPad up there. And then obviously it's going to come in and out, it's not going to stay in the car, it will come in and out, so really it could just go up there with the maps and stuff on and leave the rest of that free, because I've got electric windows, I've got heater controls, etc, light switches. I mean, I've got some switches still in the roof, so yeah, I'm not going to obviously fill this with stuff because I haven't got enough to fill it with. But I think what I'll do now, I will start taking out the panels, and then I will have a look at the back, because at the minute we're not quite touching the bulkhead because we've got cables in the way. But at least with these panels out, I'll be able to get down, move them where I need to put them, and then get this flat up against the bulkhead, ready to mount it so it's actually hard mounted, and then I can work out from there. So that is today's plan. So let's get cracking. Okay. We've got some work done. We've got the fuse box mounted in there, so that's not going anywhere. The only problem is it does render this bit a bit useless, but we might better get something in here if we need to. The column, I've just bolted the column back in and obviously made hole for it. I've trimmed down a column surround, so that fits now. What I'll probably end up doing is making a panel that sort of bolts on here, goes over and bolts on there. So I'll bend one of them up. Hang on. And I've just got obviously all the panels out and pulled cables through where I need to get them to. Getting that column and all the fuse box and everything in there took quite a long time. Little things like this just take forever. So yeah, obviously the top's on there, as I said earlier. Not sure if it's going to stay, but I think it will. I think it will stay. Obviously I'll recover it. I need to get my heater manifold made up. Hopefully either I'll get Mikey to weld me one up to bolt on there, or as I say, see if Matt will 3D print one. I'll speak to him later. Clocks wise, now this is going to be the problem. Obviously the disco clocks are huge, but they do plug in and all work. Well, I don't know about the speedo yet. I think Disco 2s run off the ABS sensors, and I haven't got those, so I don't think I'm going to have a speedo, which might render most of this useless. So what I need to do is, I've got a rev counter, so that's not a problem. I can put one of those in the dash. It's just a speedo, so I'll probably have to end up getting a GPS speedo. Fuel gauge wise, I'm not quite sure. I'll have to have a look at it. I would imagine a TD5 91 might fit. Same with temperature. I don't know. I'll have to have a little think about that. I mean, I was going to trim it down because obviously this whole front bit is useless, so I could trim it down so it's just the front of the clocks and probably get them in there. Oh, get them in there. beside the steering wheel. But again, I'll trim all this down and have a look. Again, it really does depend on the speedo. I'll have to, you know, look at the wiring diagrams for the gauges and see whether I can, or what other gauges I can use. As I say, I think obviously Defender TD5 ones will probably work, so it might be better just to get small 52mm gauges and put them in the dashboard somewhere. But I don't know, I'll trim this down, I'll see how it sits in there. I'm obviously running out of real estate pretty quick, especially losing that other side. That's going to be fog light switches over on the right hand side. I think all the ones that go around the binnacle on the disco will end up there. If I put the clocks in there, then obviously the iPad will have to go up there or over here. Then I've got the window switches. Obviously I haven't got electric windows yet, but I will do, so they need to go somewhere. I don't want them all the way over here. Also got this heater panel to go in, because obviously using the disco loom. Yeah, I don't know, half of this might not end up in the dashboard, but you know, we'll have to play it by ear. So anyway, that's them bits done. It's now a matter of working out the rest of the switch locations, so that is our next job. Right, so I've been busy. I've got a rough bracket to get the clocks mounted. I decided to go above there. I know that renders that pretty much useless, that panel, but it is what it is. We knew it was going to be fairly useless with a fuse panel in there anyway, so that will just be an access panel from now on, I think. So I've trimmed all the Disco 2 clocks down. Obviously I've taken the top dash off at the moment because I'm not sure if it fits with those in, so I might have to either not have it or modify it. Then I started chopping down the disco cover. Now obviously there's no brackets fitted for it yet, and I thought, oh, we're going to be all right there. We'll be able to put those switches in here, still use that surround. I don't think the clock's going to work, as I say, because I think the disco run off the ABS, so I'm just going to have to probably take that needle off and maybe put a digital speedo on there. So yeah, so I was doing all that and then realised something. It's going to be too close to the steering wheel. As you can see, I can only just get my fingers past there, but by the time there's switches in, it's not going to work. And the switches need to be at the bottom, because where I've shortened this, the mount is right up behind, well, nearly up behind these. So the switches that I need to use need to be at the bottom, and there's no room. I'm wondering whether I could take more out of it and get the whole lot back some more. I might have a little play, because obviously now this is done. It's obviously no use to man or beast, and it's not going to work here. So maybe I will chop some more out. The only thing is it will lose the bottom, because the bottom pit is inward bound. And if I need to bring it back up here, it's going to be missing the bottom part. So I don't think that's going to work. Shame, because all the switches could have gone in there and saved me having to find somewhere on the dashboard for them, but I don't think it's going to work. And I don't really want to bring the steering wheel closer to me, because that was the idea, one of the ideas of doing this, to give us more room. So I'm going to have a little think, give it a couple of coats of looking at, and we'll see where we end up. Right, so I've decided to hold off on the dash binnacle situation. I've got this steering wheel that I'm hoping to put on. Now I believe it's called a Stavtech, but I also want to put an Optimil Boss on. Now if the Optimil Boss is deeper, which I'd imagine it will be for quick release, that'll bring it away from where the clock surround is at the moment. So I think I'm going to leave the clock surround off. The clocks are fine where they are now, they'll plug in and be usable. And then I'll try and sort out an Optimil Boss, or at least email them and see if I can get measurements, and then work it out from there. And then hopefully I won't actually need to chop that down anymore. It obviously will bring the steering wheel closer to me, but obviously security is a big factor, so being able to remove it will be better. So yes, I think I'll leave it there for now, and I'll move on to getting switches put in the dashboard. And that's that panel made up. So you've got front bags and pressures, rear bags and pressure, you've got tank pressure, and you've got boost gauge for the engine. So I thought I'd put all the air on one panel. So I've still got some room here if I need to put anything, but for the moment I think that's probably it's it for that panel. I've left that gap obviously because that goes sort of behind the stalks, so I didn't put them centralised. I thought I'd give myself a bit of room, bit of eye room to see. So yeah, that's come out all right. Next job. I just realised I forgot to talk about the barn find that I was going to on Saturday. Basically what happened is an old couple passed away and left their property, and as it happens, a barn of vintage tractors to 4 different animal charities. So what I was asked by the executor of the will is just to pop over with my generator, an air pump, and pump all the tyres up on the tractors so they're ready to sort of go off to the auction house. They're all being auctioned off, as is the house and all its contents and everything they own. And as I say, all going to animal charities. So that's probably, the property is stunning. So it's probably $1 million to $1.5 million once everything's sold, going to charity. So that's good. But I couldn't film it obviously because it's a private thing obviously. So that's fair enough. So that was that. Anyway, back on the Defender. I received a delivery. 2 of these. I'm just going to open the one. But it is the compressors, filter socks, some plastic tubing. So it's quite big tubing, so maybe we should have used bigger tube than the 6mm we've used. Maybe that would have made the suspension work faster, but never mind. Right, what else? What else have we got in here? We have... looks like filter, external filter possibly, and the compressor itself. Now this all come from Car Audio Security. It's supposedly a silent or nigh on, not so well, I won't say silent, the quieter compressor I think is what they called it. Let me open it all up and I'll come back to you. Alright, so there's one of them. Gives you all the details on there. We've got a spring mounting kit, which I presume is to quiet them down and make them less vibratory through the car. We've got screw-in fittings here. I have to see whether they fit the tank or whether I need to buy an adapter. So I'm going to do that now so I can get that sorted. Obviously the only issue being we have 2, so we need to put 2 inputs and we only have the 1. So we might need to have a little bit of a jig around. So right, let's see what fittings these are. Right, so these filter socks are obviously replacement for in there, so we've got 2 spare for each compressor I presume. I haven't opened the other box, but I'm guessing it's exactly the same. This tube is to remote filter it, so you would leave this box off, put that in the compressor, run this, let's zoom out, run this hose and put the other one on, and then you could have it up high out the way, but we don't need to worry about that because it's going to be inside the car. So we can just put the filter housing straight on the back of the compressor and do away with all the rest of it. So I just now, oh, that's it, that's hand tight. So I just now need to sort out the connection ends to the tank. So removing the PCO adapter, this does fit straight in here. So I think what I need is a T-piece to connect both into that. So that's what I will get ordered up, and then we'll organise fitting them. I'm probably going to fit them, not that you can see, but I'm probably going to fit them up here and box them in out the way. So I've got more floor space here in the truck to use for bits and pieces, and obviously I'm going to box this in as well. So right, that's that for now. Right, we're getting there with this panel. This is the next one along. We've got the fan controls, we've got a clock, and we've got 4 USBs. There's 2 in each one, and then we've got room for a row of switches there. We've got window switches for when I have electric windows, and the central locking switch, and a voltmeter for each battery. Where is it? There, I had it in the old Defender. You've got your main battery voltage at the top and then your auxiliary battery voltage at the bottom. So I'll get them in there as well after lunch. Obviously the panel still needs straightening off yet. It's still a bit wavy, so don't look at that. I've got a radius of corners, etc. It's just getting the main bits in there. So, right, lunchtime. And there's the next panel. Both window switches, the volt gauge for front and rear batteries, and the central locking buttons. They do look a little bit skew-if, but we can sort that out. We can just file them back a bit. I think it's that. Doesn't help. Yeah, we can skew them all over. Now the gaps, they're equally gapped in the middle. It's just because obviously that's got a bigger switch on the front of it that makes it look like it's all on the hoof. But yeah, that's all in now. So that's good. That's the next dash bit. Well, not done, but you know, organised. Obviously, again, got to flatten the edges, radius the corners. And also what I'm probably going to do is use, because now I'm not using the head unit, I've got the head unit wiring, so that will give me switch live, illumination, etc. So I'm going to make a loom on an ISO plug for this, other than the thing, because that's got its own wiring. And then hopefully, obviously the electric window switches will be alright, but I'll hopefully hook it all up to the head unit wiring, the ISO connector, so it's just easily quick unplug. So obviously these, that and that can all be on that and just be a separate loom. The window switches are obviously plug in the original loom, as will that. So just got to tidy up, say, the edges just to get them a bit straighter, and then that panel is done, other than everything else I spoke about. I've started making the platform for the air suspension bits to all sit on, so it will slide in and out as one unit. The wire piece is turned up at home, typically, so it's going to go there. That's why the compressors are the same way and not facing each other, because I needed to get this to here. Need to get this to here, and having it round the other way, I just couldn't get the right angle on it, so they're both this way, but they're going to be covered anyway. That's going to all be boarded in. I presume I've probably got to have some fans to get some air flow in there. The clips that come with it I'm not overly happy with, because obviously they're not lined, so I think I'm going to have to get some rubber line P clips and change those. But it's just a bit of basic board, just so you can pick it all up and take it all in and out as one. I've got the silent kit on it, so they're sat on springs. Obviously that's making a noise because it's on the bench, but hopefully they'll that means they'll wobble away without problem. So yeah, so I just got to get that wire piece on and then put the whole lot in, and then obviously put a cover over the top and maybe some fans. I need to inquire. I'm guessing these are probably going to get quite warm, so an airflow through it might be beneficial. So right, next job, and there it is, it's in. I've now just got to finish all the wiring off, and I'll do that after the weekend. So thank you for watching. Like, subscribe and share if you do. Next week I have got that Fiat Panda 4x4. The donor car is coming on Monday for the engine swap, so that'll be next week. Yeah, so thanks for watching, as I say, and I'll see you after the weekend on that one. Take it easy, guys.